Ready?
Yep.
All right, then get out of here. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Get a motion to approve today's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Team and I.
Bulls and I.
The minutes, which we just talked about.
I fixed it.
I would make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
Okay, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Team and I.
Bulls and I.
How long will it take? It'll probably take a little bit for that unemployment fund deal.
Well, not necessarily. Did you guys read the info I sent you? Okay. So we received our 88,000 or 81,680.66. So what we used to do in the past is for the unemployment portion, we budgeted 0.3%. So we would just do a claim quarterly to ISAC. We were in a pool with ISAC, and then they took care of any unemployment claims or stuff back and forth. So over the years, our pool for just Benton County, we have 163,361.32. So they want to keep that reserve minus that 81,000 just in case it's next year or something, if we'd have something. But come April, instead of us paying ISAC, we will pay the Iowa Workforce Development. And we'll handle it ourselves instead of being in the pool. So we'll have to kind of decide. Right now, they're recommending 0.1%. But I think we have enough in our reserves maybe. But we can talk about that during budgeting time. But for now, I need to create this proprietary health fund. We're gonna treat it like our health insurance is Fund 8500. We have an 8501 for the partial self-funding. So I would like this to be fund number 8502. And then I can deposit that check into that fund and we'll start getting ready for that process to change.
They suggest 1%?
The Iowa Workforce Development did. When we were in the pool with ISAC, we put in 0.3%. So I'll have to look at that, 'cause we don't have a whole lot of claims, and we haven't in the past, so.
Okay, and the fund, when it goes into the workforce, then it's 1%. If we don't use it, do we lose it? Or does
No,
it
so
bank?
what we'll do is we'll budget for that, and we put it into our bucket, which I call the 8502 fund. And then we'll pay from Iowa Workforce Development as the claims come in. So it's not necessarily we're gonna have them, but it's
Okay.
just in case we do, we have to have that funding to pay those.
That's what I was gonna worry about, if that we were gonna lose it.
No,
if we don't
no,
use
it'll
it.
be ours.
Okay.
Just like it's ours in that pool with ISAC, we didn't lose it, it's still there, we'll get it back.
Is there a cap?
I don't know, but we're gonna have a webinar in January with ISAC, and they're help guiding us, because there was like 24 counties that were in the pool, so.
I guess I was leading on between 0.5%, 0.75%,
Okay,
my personal opinion.
okay, well, we can talk about that during
Because we got
budget.
money banked already that we're gonna get back.
Right, yeah,
So the 1% was the suggestion?
0.1, yeah.
Yeah.
0.1?
Yeah. So,
That was my feeling.
but that's something that I would send to the department heads when we send the budgeting letter too. So,
Okay.
or I send them a documentation with like the health insurance premiums, FICA, Medicare, IPERS, and then I do the unemployment rate, so. But, yeah, I mean, from what I've been told, we should be pretty safe for this year with that amount.
So you're looking for a recommendation to, or vote on
Well,
this
for
to
now,
set
I'm
up?
only asking you to approve me creating that proprietary fund,
Okay,
because I have to deposit that check, it's sitting on my desk.
yeah. I have no problem with it at all.
Okay.
Makes
You
sense.
guys?
No, I don't have a
No.
problem.
I would make a motion to approve resolution 25101 to create the unemployment fund.
Okay,
I'd second that.
all right, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Team and I.
Bulls, aye.
There you go, Haley.
Okay, we'll get that
And we'll
created
talk
and
about
deposited.
What percentage we'll do,
Yep, with
when
that,
we get
when we
into
get
the
that
budget.
department head meeting, we'll
Yeah.
talk about that in a little bit, but yeah.
okay? All right, number 5.
So you have a letter in your packet. Les was one of the reserve officers that was, didn't spend a lot of time here, but he would fill in once in a while, but he's moving on to do other things, so he's technically just sent his resignation letter in there. So I just need a motion to acknowledge that.
Okay.
I would make a motion to acknowledge the resignation of Les Wood, Reserve Deputy to Benton County Sheriff's Office.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bull's eye. Thank you, sir.
Well, looks like we got about 5 minutes.
Well, if you want, I can bring up department heads.
Yes,
Have
please.
been, I've received a few emails. There's been some feedback back and forth with department heads. They overheard the meeting last week about talking about freezing the wages and such. They had asked that instead of receiving a letter from the supervisors, if we could meet in person so we can have discussions and face-to-face. So I suggested maybe we'll set something up after the first of the year, after the holidays, maybe we'll get our evaluation report done by then and see some of that stuff, and then sit down with them.
I don't have a problem meeting with them at all,
Okay.
but I still believe that a letter needed to be sent so that we have the documentation.
Yes,
there.
and we can combine that with what I sent once I know those, like unemployment rates and all that too.
Right.
So, But
Yeah.
but in lieu of that, they definitely want a face-to-face department head meeting, so.
Those work better.
Okay, I know Ray said Tuesday afternoons are not good for him for court, so you will prefer like another morning so that you can do your bus route and
I would
stuff?
prefer a morning meeting, yeah, it's easier for me to schedule.
Okay.
But I know it's tough on the department heads because they have their jobs to do.
Yeah, I'll send out a little email survey. I know it's hard to get everybody.
I would suggest a Monday morning,
Okay.
what I feel, first of the week.
I will make work whatever the rest of you
Like
guys.
10 a.m., that way we can
That'd
get
be
to work and
fine.
get situated and come back.
That'd be fine.
Guess we'll
Monday
do it right
morning is
here.
fine, or
Yeah.
after work, if they wanted to do it late afternoon,
Okay,
would even work.
all right, well, thank you, I'll get something
Think Monday
going
would
on that.
be, Monday would be better. Friday, they might want to be taken off.
Okay, so like a Monday at 10, we'll try to do something
Okay.
after the holidays.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
all right. Warren.
Thank you. I have an application from Melinda Riley for a farm exemption. She has 75 acres in Florence Township 27 off of 32nd Avenue. I marked in the corner of her property. There's a pre-existing site that had been there in the past, and that's where she's looking at building. She qualifies for the exemption, and I'd like for you to grant it.
I hate to be a stickler, but can you show us on the map without me getting my plat book out?
I tried to buy that 35 years ago to build on it myself. They wouldn't sell it.
It's right down in here,
Okay,
right there,
okay,
If you come as north from
32nd
Amana,
Avenue, and she,
okay.
did you see the little mark that I made?
Yes, I did.
And that's where she's looking at building.
I think there's a little bit of a corn crib that hasn't fallen
Yes,
down yet.
exactly.
Yeah.
That is exactly where it's at.
Yep, yep.
I have no problem with it.
No, it's been an empty lot for a long, long time, so, yeah, I don't have any problem with
Okay. So can I get a motion to approve the farm exemption?
it. I would make a motion to approve the farm exemption for Melinda Riley, part part of Southeast 1/4, Northeast 1/4, Section 27, T82 North, R9W.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Vols aye.
Thank you.
There you go, Bud.
Wonderful.
Okay, we're done. Thank you.
Have a good day.
We will.
Thanks, Dan.
You got 5 minutes. Reports.
I did the health and land use meeting Monday morning, first thing on Friday. They went over their,
For public health.
the public health, they went over their budgets. They're well on the way of getting that completed.
Okay.
And then I went from there over to Eldora for the juvenile detention meeting. We are not current members, but I'm still allowed to go to the meeting because of the lawsuit. It took some of us out from being members. They're redoing their 28E agreements. And then we get voted back. We have to do a resolution requesting to be a member, and then we get voted back in. And then once that first round is done, then there's a second round of people. They kind of divided it up into years as people joined up, and then we would have to, at the meetings over there, as the different resolutions come in, approve everybody to be a member. We appointed the new, I believe it's gonna be a COO or a CFO. Haley's been working with her on the old bills. Cassie Ruth is now the director over there.
And I met Brandy in person the other day too.
Okay.
Just randomly. Yeah, she's the one that emails me invoices too.
Yep. Looked like you paid a bunch of that off.
Yep. We're getting it down, slowly but surely. Still waiting on a few approvals.
They've been
But-
good about,
Yes, and I
Itemized.
believe, one of the persons was transferred,
Taxes.
so that will hopefully help us.
okay,
Once this is all done and settled, then that will remove their matrix on billing us more for somebody if they're
Higher
require
risk or
more.
whatever, yeah.
And it'll be $150 a day instead of adding the,
It goes up to 400.
goes up to 400, which is where our current folks are at. So, the quicker we can work through this and they can work through their 28E agreement, the quicker we can get back in as members. We were the next county in line on the cutoff date.
And then this is all because we didn't approve those in the past, correct?
Correct. It was all just a procedural thing. And the lawsuit was dropped, they came up with this procedure to correct it, and they're moving forward.
okay. Okay. Let you go next.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us come today. I mentioned to Haley in our emails back and forth that I will be retiring the end of December. And I brought our new CEO, Matt Majewski. Some of you may know Matt from working with the Department of Health and Human Services, because I think this was one of Matt's counties. But he is currently our Chief Operating Officer, and we're excited to have him take over the CEO role. So thank you for, once again, the opportunity. Oh, do you want to hand these out now? We did submit our funding request for next year, and it covers the same things that we have requested funding for previously. We did request a 3% increase. We haven't requested an increase for a number of years, so we'll leave that up to you. But $10,300 goes to support our raw food cost in our Belle Plaine senior dining program. We have 2 senior dining programs in Benton County, one in Belle Plaine and one in Vinton. Another $22,339 is being requested to support our Belle Plaine housing program. We have 3 apartments and 1 single-family dwelling in Vinton that we rent to homeless or at-risk families, and we rent them at below market rate rent. And then our biggest portion of the request is for our North Benton Family Resource Center. That's where we serve our Vinton meals out of. And at both sites, in Belle Plaine and Vinton, we serve congregate and home-delivered meals. And seniors enjoy, for the congregate meals, enjoy the social interactions and spend quite a bit of time at our site. So the remaining amount, $48,499, is for that program and our Vinton operation. We also, at our Vinton site, have our regionally managed program. So we have the Head Start program, we have LIHEAP intake, weatherization intake, and any disaster programming we've done previously. So we hope that you consider our request, and we'd be glad to answer questions, but before we do that, we do have a summary of the services that we provided in Benton County during our last fiscal year, which would have been October 21st through September 30th of this year. We served over 1,000 households in that time, and households received over $800,000 in direct assistance, or an average of $777 per household. And those services that we provided included repairs, food assistance, mortgage and rent assistance, and utility and energy assistance services. In our Safe and Affordable Housing Initiative, we had 506 households that received over almost $300,000 in utility assistance. And then we had an additional 96 households that received crisis energy assistance during the non-moratorium period. And that would mean that they were facing a shutoff of their utilities in their household. And we were able to work with the family and the utility company to get the shutoff either eliminated or get them reconnected, and work on a budget plan with us utilizing some of our funding to pay down that bill, and the household having to pay some of it as well too. We had 6 households that received weatherization services, and that was an average of almost $19,000 per household. The weatherization program implements energy efficient measures on houses of low-income families, which that can include a furnace replacement, a refrigerator replacement, a hot water heater replacement, as well as putting some insulation in the home to make it more energy efficient as well. We had 2 veteran families that we served in the county that received rent and utility assistance so they could maintain their permanent housing in the county. And then in our food security area, we provided over 34,000 meals to 379 families with seniors. And that was both home delivered and the congregate meals. In our home delivered program, we serve hot meals as well as frozen meals if a family or if a senior requests those frozen meals, or there's a projected bad weather forecast. When we're delivering a hot meal, we send along a couple of frozen meals as well too, to get them through any bad weather that they may be facing. Our food reservoir also provided some food in the county to a number of our partner agencies. Our mobile food pantry served over 488 households, and the amount of food that was distributed to both through our mobile pantries and our partner agencies is over $450,000. So it is a large amount of food that we are supplying to those partner agencies to either have a feeding program, serve meals, or have a food pantry in the different communities. We also have some school-based programs, and we have a school pantry at the school here in Vinton, where children can take food home or families can come in and get food as well too. And then in our Child and Family Life initiative, we have our 16 Head Start slots here that are full day, full year, which allow parents to work and go to school during that time that their kids are in that child care during that full day, full year schedule. And we have 47 households that received free medical equipment loans, assisting them with their being able to live independently as well too. We also have a number of participants in the WIC program. I believe our caseload here runs about 120 families that are served through WIC in our services that we provide 4 days a month. So, Matt, anything you want to add?
No, I think you covered everything.
So we'd be glad to answer any questions that you have.
From attending the ACAP meetings, this program is just outstanding. For what we put in and what we get back is unbelievable. It is just such a program. I went over one evening and we did some of the, we packed up some stuff for the kids on weekends that get sent home with them. Fantastic programs.
Yeah, we try to meet the community needs that they have identified within their county areas and tailor our services to be able to provide the best service we can in the community. So we certainly appreciate Ron as a board member. He's a very good board member. And we thank you for coming to help us. Ron.
Calling young man in charge, he has a family and everything, of the food distribution and everything, and the allocation of such food. Grew up in Norway, he's a young Brecht fella.
Yep.
Yeah, Aaron. Yeah. Mhm.
Know him very well.
Yeah. Mhm. He's a great guy.
I sat down, and the young man says, "Well, I haven't seen you since I was in high school." And I thought, wow, I do know you. But he's grown up now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a good guy. I noticed that in the previous years, it seems like there's a big fluctuation.
You know,
Is that-
and there is a reason for that. In
Yeah.
those years where we had higher assistance amounts, we had additional funding because of ARPA and CARES funding and COVID funding. We had additional crisis assistance money that we were able to work with families and pay down higher amounts of utility bills
Okay.
in those years.
I mean, so this is all based off of what your projections?
Yes, yeah,
We're gonna be
yeah,
at
yeah,
26.
yeah. And this, what we're requesting, the dollar amount we're requesting is for FY '27.
Seven, right.
Yeah.
And they covered in a couple meetings, I think. We talked about how they were going to adapt coming out of all these big funding programs that we no longer have.
Mhm.
And how they were gonna still meet the needs and everything, and I think they've got it covered.
Yeah, we've had to downsize staff members because we certainly had less funding, but, you know, that doesn't mean that the need is any less
No,
prevalent than what it was, because the needs and requests for our services are at an all-time high. So, you know, we are very fortunate in the donations that go into our food reservoir. Feeding America Food Bank allow us to purchase the amount of food that we do to get back out into the counties to meet the need as well, too. And, you know, if we have to reduce an assistance amount to a family because we only have limited funds, I mean, that's what we will do, but we will help them identify other resources that they may need as well, too, to help them get through their crisis. But anything we can provide, we're going to do it.
How old is the facility now with all the refrigeration and everything?
We moved there in July of 2020. So it's 25-plus years old. We've had to increase the amount of refrigerating, cooling, and freezing space in our food reservoir to be able to accommodate the donations, so we can accommodate the need going out to the communities that we are serving. So we almost, from what we originally had, have tripled the size of our cooler space. And it's full the majority of the time. You know, there may be a time at a certain period of the month when, you know, because shipment hasn't come in, there may be some space available. But, you know, it generally is full of food ready to go out. You know, we always try to have fresh fruits and vegetables. We make sure we have milk. We work with local producers to buy their products as much as we can, because we think it's important to invest in the communities that we are serving. So that's where we do get some of our produce during the months that they are producing their goods. And then we buy our milk from Dan and Debbie's, which is a local producer in Ely. So, you know, we try to reinvest back in our communities by spending our dollars there.
Our food reservoir, in general, distributes about 1 million pounds of food a month.
A month.
Yeah.
A month.
It is.
It's like a grocery store warehouse. You should come over and visit it sometime, you know, come with
The
Ron.
numbers staggering
to a
when you
board
think
meeting.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It is
yeah.
okay, I've never done it. You'll know where to start. It appears to be a well-oiled machine.
It is, you
We
know.
believe it to be.
Yeah, we believe that it is.
Yeah.
You know, we have 3 different kinds of food that come into our food reservoir. We have donations, which come from community food drives or individuals donating food, also from realtors, or not realtors, grocers and different companies that produce food. We do get food from them, and then we also have what we purchase. There are some foods that, because of our buying power, it's more efficient for us to purchase that, such as protein and the peanut butter, those types of things, because of the buying power that we have, because we buy semi-loads at a time. And then we also, the third type of food we also have is the USDA food that comes from the government, what's known as a commodity program, emergency feeding program. The government buys those products that are in surplus, that are raised by producers throughout the country, and Feeding America food banks have access to that. That's really the smallest percentage of the funding or the food that we do receive. And that's the only federal funding that we have going into the food reservoir, is that commodity food. Otherwise, that is operated by fundraising dollars and donations.
And that will be our new CEO moving forward.
So-
I'll tell people in pride.
Okay.
I know where you are. That is a Benton County resident.
So this board's asked me before, like, when I,
And I just
In various-
worded it out.
Yeah.
That is a Benton County resident.
been living in Urbana for about 20 years or so. So we are very familiar with,
We were thrilled to have him join VCAP in June, when our CEO, Mitch Finn, retired at that time, and then thrilled to have him in the CEO's position as well, too.
We're losing 2 people in 6 months. But
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
We're also very fortunate to, their successors, I believe are gonna do a fine
Yeah.
job for us.
I believe so, too, so.
We will definitely be missed.
Well, thank you. You know, I've enjoyed working with you, and I want to thank you for all the support you've given us. You know, I feel like as I'm making my last trip to these meetings, I'm saying goodbye to a group of friends that I've had for, you know, such a long time. So you guys have been wonderful supporters, and we couldn't do what we do without your support. So thank you for everything.
Thank you.
And as a side, how did they were gifted a property?
Yes, we were. We were gifted a property in Dubuque. The Sisters of Sinsinawa had a house that they had sisters living in, and their sisters were all aging out of being able to live independently. So they selected us to give the house to in Dubuque. So we're just at a point where we're finishing the remodeling on it, and we're going to be placing a family there around the 1st of January. So we're excited about that.
A very nice property.
Yeah, it is a very nice property. We needed to replace the furnace and the hot water heater, so we did that. And then we needed to do some replacing of floor coverings and those types of things. So we've got that almost completed and ready for the family to move into. So we're excited to have that opportunity.
The apartment site in Belle Plaine, if you don't know where it is, it's right next to City Hall.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it's called the Burroughs Building
Yeah.
for years. It was a needed thing down there.
Mhm, mhm.
I was there when it was brought in.
Were you really?
Yep.
You know, whenever I would visit there and go down in the basement, you know, people would always say, oh, there was a mortuary down in here. And you can still kind of see, you know, where they drove in and stuff. We did some remodeling and put an apartment in the basement that we used short-term. We're not using it now because of water flooding issues. But, yeah, that's quite a building. It has a lot of history. And then we have our scattered site property which is a house, a single-family dwelling in Belle Plaine as well, too. And then we have the apartment that's connected to the 4th Street Diner that we have somebody living in here, in Benton, too.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity, and I wish you well. Thank you.
Enjoy the retirement.
I will.
Very good.
Hope retirement treats you well.
Oh, I think it will. I've got lots of things planned that I'll be starting right away on January 1st, so.
Myron.
Myron, are you looking forward to the break in the action here for the next week and a half, maybe?
Yes,
I bet you and your crew is, man.
if nothing else, at least it'll give them a weekend
Take care, thank you.
break type of deal, because the last 2 weekends in a row, the snow has come on the weekend.
Yeah, always on the weekend. Always on the weekend.
On the weekend,
Even our gravel county roads look way better than other counties. I may have traveled some Saturday with side-by-side.
yeah,
so
before we started,
kudos to them.
I've gotten a lot of compliments on the work that the county road crews have done.
I know there's been, well, based on some snow amounts, thought that maybe it could set and wait till Monday, but upon traveling and looking at them, we felt differently and attacked them on the weekend, so,
Did they end up going out Sunday?
yes.
Yep, keep it cleaned up and perfect.
But yes, I don't know if the warm stretch will be well-received, but the break in the action will be well-received, let's put it that way.
Yeah, but yeah, what's the warmth going to do to the roads now, once it starts thawing?
We have basically no frost. Or very little freeze in the ground.
Probably very little. Like I say, we started to put frost in the ground, and then we got a nice blanket of snow that almost pulled the frost back out, I think, and where there's snow cover, I think there's probably very little frost underneath that.
I'll let you know Thursday.
Digging a hole?
A few weeks ago, the maintainer operator that runs the Bruce Center shed in northwest corner of the county submitted his resignation, advertised for that position, had 10 applicants. 2 of those applicants had 10 years plus or minus heavy equipment experience. I narrowed it down to those 2, interviewed those 2, and here to present a resolution that Charles Betterton was the selected applicant. Charles started yesterday, and His starting wage would be $28.68 with a labor grade classification of a 4A for running that motor grader. I have a resolution to formalize that here this morning. I think it's resolution number 25-102.
Yep. We stayed in order today.
Can I get a motion to hire the new person?
I will make a motion to hire Charles Betterton, resolution number 2502.
I will second that motion.
Call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bull's eye.
You'll email me those, won't you, Mary?
You sure will.
Thank you.
Thanks for the reminder.
Save me from typing.
They're short, but I'll still give it to you. With some construction projects going on here late this fall up on 52nd Street in Polk Township between 27th Avenue Drive and 29th, there was a bridge there that had I think a 3-ton weight limit, and had a box culvert contractor come in and build a twin box. Got the concrete all poured in November, got it backfilled just before Thanksgiving, I think. Kind of dressed up the surface after the first snow. But that road is open. With that being a new twin structure, that weight limit of 3-ton needs to be removed. So I have a resolution number 25-103 removing the weight embargo on that structure on 52nd Street for you this morning. If I can get a motion to accept that resolution.
Motion to accept resolution 25-102.
Three.
I'll second.
Call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bull's eye.
Oh, this guy. Well, scan one. I don't even know where you are.
So your number is on the website, so good.
That was the only two things I had for you. I didn't know if you had any questions for me.
Yes, I do. South of 30, they're putting driveways in underneath the high lines. Do you know anything about that?
Yes.
What's the story on that?
That transmission line that runs from west to east, east to west, wherever they're replacing that line, and they are installing permanent driveways for access to that for the project and installing the new pipes, but just to, or the new poles, but just to have access to that transmission line for the future. They are installing those driveways with their contractor, but I know they want to do some clearing and grubbing along that line this winter. They may start hauling in supplies, but next year they're bringing in poles to put in a new transmission line that's running from, I forget how that's all running, but I think from Tama County through, it comes down south, but it's primarily that line that parallels Highway 30 on the 1.5 miles south.
It's the double poles,
Yes.
so they're gonna go with just a big single pole like they've been using?
I think the metal poles type of deal, but they're upgrading that transmission line. I think it's probably gonna carry a higher voltage type of deal, but they're also dismantling those old wooden H-posts that have been up there for umpteen years.
Been there as long as I've been, I can remember.
So you're not flipping the bill for the culverts, the dirt?
Nope, we gave them a supplier of our culverts. They're buying their culverts themselves and installing them with their contractor. So
Okay.
it's, I mean, it'd be their expense either way, but they are Dan had met with them when we went around and okayed the locations. They had a few locations that would not work. They were going to need to decide where they were going to, whether they were going to put one there or move it. But they all needed to comply with their driveway policy.
What about site distance on, if there is any problems, you know what I mean? I don't know, I haven't drove all the roads down there, but, you know what I mean, we got the 500-foot site distance for a driveway. I don't know if there is any.
I'm not sure if site distance was a problem with a couple of them. I thought it was slope. We also have a 10% slope rule that if you've got a high bank and your driveway's greater than 10%, you're either going to have to shave that back onto your property to get down to 10%. But those that didn't comply with our policy, they were looking at moving them north, south, east, or west, and maybe getting easement from that property owner to access from that point to their easement with.
Okay.
The utility does all that.
Correct.
Just curious about it.
Mhm.
So I was. Had a couple farmers ask me about it, I can relay the message if they want.
I know that in some cases, there's a farm field drive that's really close, and tried to encourage them to talk to that property owner and use that instead of putting a driveway 200 feet down the road, you know?
Okay.
But I know their interest was to try to put a driveway in their, I don't know if it's a 100-foot utility easement they have, or 100 plus, I think, on that transmission line.
They're not, you know, they're not gonna rock all these, are they? Was that mentioned at all?
I'm not sure. They would need to on the hard surface roads anyway, but
Okay, I was gonna say they did that last week.
say they did the one north of Watkins with rock,
Yep,
and they would need to on that paved road.
okay,
But on the unpaved roads, they wouldn't have to, whether they choose to. They might be, just with some winter activity on getting in and out to reduce the tracking
I
of.
guess my last question is, all right, like a mile west of the Watkins Road, are they gonna put culverts on both sides of the road? You know what I mean? Cause there certainly ain't gonna, like the Watkins where they put that gravel and all that in, they're not gonna drive the equipment or drag everything for the whole mile back to the west. They're gonna have a driveway on both sides of the road?
I know they were looking at numerous accesses on just about every road, because they will be traveling on most every road to get material in and out to reduce running through that easement. I think they were also balancing the costs, because some driveway locations are going to require a much larger drainage tube than others.
Because I don't understand why they're not going with bridge planks like they did when they did in my area. The railroad ties where they had them all woven together and laid them in there, and project's done, they tear them out and everything's back the way it was. But that's their decision.
This project and the last most recent one, they were looking at having a permanent access to their
Okay.
utility easement. And so they were looking at incorporating driveways
Okay.
on that. But yeah, I mean, they may end up with that in a few places where maybe a driveway isn't gonna work, and that's, with some signage, a temporary use to use.
And I know south of me, you know, that power line jogs around that building site.
You think the poles will be further apart? They'll probably be higher. doesn't matter, I just wonder.
Yeah.
Because those things can carry a lot more weight than those.
I can't remember on the plans I mean, there's quite a distance between them and whether that, I think they are greater distance than the current wood ones. I know I'd asked them about moving the one north of Blairstown just a little bit further east off the east side of the pavement when they were doing that. I did the same when they put one of their lines in here semi-recently. I know that 10 years ago or so, I ended up having to pay to have one moved south of Van Horn. And whenever I hear about their projects, I usually look that over and I'm like, is there any way we can move one of these poles a little bit here and there while you're doing it? And it's minimal cost on them and it's a great benefit on our end.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got the app out on the county website for hiring more guys?
Not yet, but
Not yet?
a few other things popped up
Okay.
that I didn't get that posted, but
Okay.
that will be.
Tell the guys out secondary roads, thumbs up, they did an excellent job again this weekend.
Will do.
Really impressed, county blacktops. They did a good job.
Well, Mother Nature helped as much as that too. I mean, I'm not taking away any of our operators, but I will say that Mother Nature helped on that when the sun came out, it started doing some heating action that helped us and hindered us both, you know?
Yeah.
When the wind starts blowing and things start melting, that light snow moving across the road just tends to stick to the wet pavement and
Yeah, no, they did a good job. All right, that's all I got.
All right.
Thanks, Myron.
thank you.
Back to reports.
I had nothing last
Thank you.
week, so
Me too.
it's kind of nice.
Okay. Budget reports, or budget decisions.
I kind of told you what I was leaning on at the department head meeting, but
Yep.
you're gonna have a few more of those entities coming forward like you just did,
Okay.
so. And I know she increased it, so do you want me to put that amount in while I'm looking at this, or wait till later? Decide all those at once? Those that have come forward, I mean, eventually we'll have to act on those, so I know what to put in.
Well, my feelings on the HCAP, like, I agree with Ron, we get a good bang for our buck.
Did you see that fluctuation in that chart with the ARPA money in '22? That's kind of what I'm, we don't have that to fall back on anymore
Yeah,
this year,
that's right.
so. And it's hurting a lot of entities, I feel.
Can we highlight the ones that are asking for the increases and stuff? or-
It's on those other,
It's on the sheet here?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I see that, but I didn't see what.
because see at the bottom, that's when we'll act on them.
It's my first day in office. Trying to throw.
Can we just get him a cot?
Hey, you got a chair at the wall you can sign.
Yeah.
My goodness. Anyway,
You got
holy
I
cow.
think she did fall backwards.
Oh,
We
yeah.
don't need another workman's comp claim.
No, okay, that's very good.
So, that's where we'll put on that form what we approved in the date, and then
Okay.
that's what I give back to the entities too. We started doing that a few years so that we have the paper trail.
Don't think we got any unfinished business.
Derek drafted the letter about the unions.
Yep, I sent those out last night before I
Yep.
left work, so you can look at thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever.
I haven't read it,
no.
that's my fault.
No, it's not. I sent it early.
Yep, I read it.
too.
I have a question. How often do we, on our healthcare, how often do we get a bids? Have we, or would we consider seeing what's out there?
We have not for quite a.
We have never,
It's been a while, not since I've been auditor.
7 years,
Yeah.
it's always been.
Just go with
I
what
forward
they
you
say?
that, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't know, I mean, that, in the industry, there's a lot of talk about, there's some companies that would, to get the business, throw a pretty good deal, but I don't know for how many years they would do that, but some of them are as low as 25% decreases in premiums.
I just got that, so I'm sure.
So I don't know if that's something you would entertain to see what's out there, or to get light coverage.
I guess what always scares me about jumping ship, that, yeah, it's a sweet deal the first year.
And that's the
And then
concern.
all of a sudden, boom,
Yeah.
second year or third year, I'm not saying they do this. but-
Well, it would have to be a contract, but just to have a look at, to see what's out there, and then maybe we would have some ammunition then to say to the current carrier, say, hey, you know what, business is business.
We wouldn't be able to do the wellness program, obviously.
Yeah, well, that's what I'd say, we have to look
Yeah.
at everything.
I know in the, like, prior to me being an auditor, I think they did that, but it was hard to beat the pool and the
Right.
prices we can get with such a magnitude of entities on
Everything
it.
there is, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That
well,
was just a thought, I mean,
you're more in the insurance, I don't know what else other health insurance carriers that are out there.
there's only one that would compete, and that would be United Healthcare. They would be the only ones that have a network the same size as what Walmart does. And I sell Walmart, so, but,
I know, like, for our risk pool, is it ICAP is the other one, I believe, other counties use? But
yeah.
And so the only comment I've heard people make, just generally in the public, is that apparently there's companies that'll offer, instead of a family plan, they'll offer like a couples plan where the kids are all out of the house, so it's just the two people. And they say there's a savings there, but I don't even know if that's offered under Walmart.
And, you know, every year, because I do have a couple of group accounts, every year, when we go through the process of renewing, they're not always the same coverages from year to year. They change them based on the usage, and you do have a choice of, you know, say they offer 6 total, and you can pick 2 of the 6 depending upon the plan that you go with. And some of those additional plans do have the different coverages for single parents and or whatever. That's a two-person household and whatnot.
Other than people mentioning it, nothing about it.
Yeah, and I mean, it would be a monumental task for somebody to come in and come up with a goal, but that's what they do. But I didn't know if that was, like I said, I just thought I'd throw it out there to see if, you know, if there's potential to save money and have the same coverages. I would hate to take coverage away from someone. That would be,
or our deductibles being so
yeah,
nice.
that would be absolutely the worst thing, but.
Because truly, we do have really good insurance.
We do.
That letter I just gave you, that's through the ICN, you know, that network that, like, the mental health people used to use,
Mhm.
judicial advocate and community services. But I don't believe we should have to pay it because we don't have anybody that accesses that. So I guess it's your call, but there's nothing our county would use that CSN for, because now, like, Sarah is another entity, so, that uses it through her district.
And of course, that fee is per year or a month, or?
I think it's just a license year for 1 year.
But we don't use any of the,
None of our employees need to use it. Sarah would be the one that would use it, but I believe she's covered under her other county. At least that's what I've been told by Deb Guard too. So. So just another budgeting yes or no one.
If you don't use it, I'd say no.
So we've got the one, our judicial advocate.
But I believe they're covered under, I mean, they're obviously accessing it now.
They should be on the state.
They're not on our county network.
Yes.
She's our employee.
I
They're not
know.
on our network, our software network at all.
No, we have no control over the CSN.
How about collections? Are
That's been an
they,
argument.
are they on the state?
Sorry, I was,
They're on a different version, but it's not what this is, right?
Ron was looking at me.
We've had arguments in the past over the county judicial advocate using the CSN and putting information in, because we have no control on it.
Okay.
And I know that was a large concern that Ray had. So I don't believe it's being utilized by her. Or if it is, it would be very limited.
Don't know off the top of my head,
We'll
because
put it
we
in
haven't
our
had
budget
much
work-
talk
Budget work in
since
progress type thing.
Yep.
early last year, or this past year, if I remember.
All right, is that it? Shelby, you got anything? No? Okay. Motion to adjourn. So moved.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
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 I
We're done.
All right.
You don't know,